I have worked Miniatic designing the content, right? I have also worked in the industry. I am working as a staff data scientist currently at Synopsys. Prior to that, I have also worked at Novartis as a data scientist, right? Now let's move ahead in understanding the agenda of this particular webinar. And again, a warm good evening to everyone, right? Thanks for joining in. So let's start. What would be the agenda of this particular webinar? So hope my screen is big, visible. The first thing we are going to we are going to start with, Python. What is Python? What is the programming language? Then we will be seeing few basic things about Python. Then we will move ahead on solving a data analysis problem on a real world business use case. Now, this is going to be tricky. You must be thinking, sir, everyone says this, that real world business use case, but all the data are dummy. But here I have selected one data which you will find it interesting and actually that mimics the real world business scenario. तो बहुत मजा आने वाला है इसमें डेटा एनालिसिस और रियल वर्ल्ड बिजनेस यूज केस आप देखोगे कैसे कैसे चैलेंजेस होंगे राइट एंड वी आर गोइंग टू एक्चुअली मेक वेरी कूल प्लॉट्स एज वेल ये इंपॉर्टेंट चीज नहीं है द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग ऑफ दिस वेबिनार इज दैट यू आल्सो विल गेट टू नो what are different optimization techniques in pandas right we are going to see that as well and for to increase your curiosity that you are here till the last. So I will show you this plot. This is a challenge. Can you make this plot on a Python? Right. See, I am in Bangalore and here is my location. So can you make a similar plot like this? Right. Can you make a 3D plot and understand the insights out of it? So these 2-3 things we are going to look at an overall level at the end. Right. So this is going to be very, very fun. Right. Now, and the last, we are also going to have a Q&A session. You can ask me any questions related to whatever you feel like. And I will be also talking about what to put things in the resume, how you want to put. Let's say you have done this particular analysis thing, but how to put that in the resume to impress the HR or to impress the team, right? So that would be also one of the things that I am looking forward to make you guys understand, right? तो काफी मजे आने वाले हैं and let's start. Not delaying anything, let's start. I would request you, if you guys don't understand anything, you don't need to worry about that because see, in 1 or half an hour of master class, I cannot teach you everything. But it is just an idea that you should learn, you should understand what are other things out there जो कि आपको नहीं पढ़ाया जाता है. बस इतना जान लो. Just try to understand that. कि हाँ ये सब चीजें भी होती हैं, ऐसे एनालिसिस किया जाता है, right? And then go and ask to your teacher, how can I do this? How can we do this? Something like that, right? So I am going to give you flavor of everything, right? So let's start. The first thing I will start with programming language. What is a programming language, right? Right. So let's say if I am speaking something, right? If I am speaking something, right? You guys are understanding. Why you guys are understanding? Because of a simple reason that we have, right? We have this understanding of English grammar. मैं हिंदी में कुछ बोल रहा हूँ, right? How are you guys understanding? क्योंकि आपको ये समझ है कि मैं कुछ बोलूंगा और आप समझोगे. क्या आप लोग कुत्ते की भाषा समझ सकते हो? बिल्ली की भाषा समझ सकते हो? ये मत बोलना मेरे पास शेरा है मैं उसकी भाषा समझ सकता हूँ. That is completely fine. But generally, right? आप इसलिए मेरी भाषा समझ सकते हो क्योंकि you have that agreement with me that okay ये लैंग्वेज है ये ग्रामर है तो मुझे समझ में आएगा. उसी तरह कुछ प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज होता है. इसको यदि आप ब्रेक करोगे तो दो वर्ड्स बनते हैं प्रोग्रामिंग और लैंग्वेज. ये क्या है? What is a programming language? Very simple, a formal language, a formal language, a formal language for creating instructions for a computer to follow. This is the understanding, right? But now, right, fine. चलो इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि if we want to interact with the computer we need a programming language. Very good. And one of the example of programming language, right, is Python. Right? Python is a programming language. Now the question is, why are we going to learn Python, or why in this webinar also Python is going to be used? कभी ऐसा सोचा है why do you need Python? Data science के नाम आते ही why do we need Python? किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन, किसी को कोई आइडिया? Anyone in comments? Anyone can answer why Python? Right? Why Python? Right? Right? Why Python? Why Python is so important? Right? Very, very simple reason. Right? All of those things are there. Right? Easy to use, widely used. Everything is there. Not a problem. But one major thing, widely used, focus on this, widely used in data industry. If you want to get into data industry, Python is the best option. Apart from this, it has lot of libraries. If you just google it out, you will realize there are 1,27,000 libraries, more than that, in Python, जो कि आपके कामों को आसान बनाता है. Right? So that's the understanding. That's why we use Python. वेरी गुड. अब क्या होता है जब भी कोई बच्चा पैदा होता है, तो क्या ऐसा होता है क्या पहले आते ही ये पहला स्टेटमेंट बोलता है कि मुझे पाइथन सीखनी है? कभी ऐसा होता है क्या? राइट? नहीं, ऐसा कभी नहीं होता कि कोई बच्चा हुआ एंड ही विल स्टार्ट टॉकिंग मुझे पाइथन सीखना है. अब ये मत बोलना कि मामा शकुनी हुए थे ऐसे. नहीं, मामा शकुनी भी नहीं हुए थे. बट द पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज वेरी सिंपल, दैट इफ समवन बॉर्न, वो धीरे धीरे सीखता है, पहले माँ फिर पापा, समथिंग लाइक दैट, एंड फिर धीरे धीरे वो पूरी लैंग्वेज सीखता है. उसी तरह इफ यू वांट टू लर्न प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, तो कैसे सीखोगे? हाउ विल यू लर्न प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज? फर्स्ट आपको सीखनी होगी क्या क्या वर्ड्स होते हैं. वर्ड्स को पाइथन में हम लोग कहते हैं डेटा टाइप. सिंपल. वर्ड यदि बन गया तो आप बनाना सीखोगे सेंटेंस. राइट? ये रियल लाइफ, ये प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज. Simple. This is real life and this is programming language. In real life, you start with ma, papa, something like that. Similarly, in programming language, you will start with data type. You will start with seeing simple, Python keywords. Right? So keywords bhi aap maan lo. Keywords. Right? Right. Now, sentence. Right? Similar to sentence, you will be also seeing statements. Statements in Python. Statements in Python. Right? Similar to grammar, you have some syntax. Grammar, you have some syntax in Python. Right? So understanding Python is no different from what we have. Right? Okay, one interesting question, fun fact. I don't know how many of you know. Right? Who developed Python? Do you know? Anyone has any idea? Right? Python was developed by Guido van Rossum. But how he developed? He loved a show, right, called as uh, it was a show in BBC, and the one of the character named was Monty Python, and that's how he named Python a programming language. This is fun fact, right? Right. The show name was Flying Circus. Very good. So now, moving ahead. So we have understood about the Python. Now, since right, we want to learn Python programming language, we'll start with words, we'll go to sentence, we'll go to grammar, and this is actually the follow. This is the step we will also be following here. Now, there are some libraries in Python. What are libraries? So these libraries are pre-written codes like pandas, numpy, right? Right. There are multiple libraries, matplotlib, Seaborn, something like that. Matplotlib, Seaborn, right? These all are plotly. These are libraries, right? What are these libraries? In a simple word, right? ये आप समझ लो कि एक ऑक्सफोर्ड डिक्शनरी है, कहीं पे रख दिया गया है, कोई भी आके इसको देख सकता है. वेरी सिंपल वर्ड्स, राइट? So these are the libraries which can be accessed by anyone in order to write any Python programming code. Very simple. This is the understanding. Now let's move ahead to Jupyter Notebook, right? थोड़ा कुछ Jupyter Notebook में देखते हैं how things are going to happen. So let's start with, so मैं यहाँ पे एक notebook खोल रहा हूँ and we'll start with basics. In just 5-10 minutes after seeing the basic concepts, we will start understanding everything in detail. सबसे पहले आप ये समझो, हमने स्टार्ट किया था कि जस्ट कोई भी बच्चा पैदा होता है तो वो क्या सीखता है? पहले मम्मी पापा, वन वर्ड, राइट? दे ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड वन वर्ड. Similarly, here also we will be trying to understand first few words. So, for example, मैं यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ print hello Monjolika. Oops, मैंने मंजुलिका लिख दिया। ओके, सो मंजुलिका इज अ कैरेक्टर इन अ मूवी भूल भुलैया, शी इज अ घोस्ट। ओके, यहाँ पे हेलो वर्ल्ड लिखना चाहिए था, ठीक है, मैं बहुत बुरा इंसान हूं, मैं मंजुलिका को याद करके ही क्लास शुरू करता हूं। चलो, सो यहाँ पे हेलो मंजुलिका मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा। सो इफ यू सी हियर, इसको हम लोग एक इंटरफेस बोलते हैं, राइट? This can be anything. It can be any IDE. For example, VS Code. It can be Google Colab. It can be Anaconda. It can be anything, right? Now, यहाँ पे हमने एक यूज किया वर्ड प्रिंट, राइट? प्रिंट वर्ड यूज किया। So what is this? एक समझ लो, एक वर्ड है, दिस इज अ वर्ड, मम्मी पापा समथिंग लाइक दैट, राइट? फिर मैं यहाँ पे लिखूंगा a इज इक्वल टू 3। अब a इक्वल टू 3 क्या हुआ? तो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज वेरिएबल, इसको बोलते हैं कीवर्ड। नाउ a इक्वल टू 3 और जब a लिखोगे देन यू विल फाइंड दैट इज 3। इक्वल्स टू इज अ नथिंग बट इज अ ऑपरेटर, राइट? इसको हम लोग ऑपरेटर कहते हैं। ऑपरेटर क्या होता है? राइट, सम मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन, प्लस माइनस मल्टीप्लिकेशन डिवीजन, समथिंग लाइक दैट, राइट? सो दीज आर द ऑपरेटर। अब यहाँ पे बहुत सारे ऑपरेटर हो सकते हैं, आई विल नॉट डाइव डीप इनटू ईच ऑफ द ऑपरेटर्स, बट यहाँ पे आप डेटा टाइप देख लो। सो फॉर एग्जांपल मुझे ये जानना है कि ए किस तरह का वर्ड है, तो आप क्या करोगे? सिंपली यू कैन जस्ट डू टाइप ऑफ ए, देन यू विल रियलाइज दिस इज अ इंटीजर। लेट्स से यू विल राइट ए इज इक्वल्स टू करियर क्राफ्ट और लेट्स से सीसी। यदि आपको ये देखना है कि व्हाट इज the type of this word, so simply write type of A, then you will realize this is a string. Similar to that, you will be having B is equals to 5.6, let's say 5.6. Now यदि आपको ये देखना है कि ये किस तरह का है, so you will just find a type of B, then you will realize this is going to be float. That's the understanding. बहुत ही बेसिक चीज, बहुत ही सही, मजे आ गए। आप लोग ये सोच रहे होंगे कि सर क्या पका रहे हो, ये सब चीजें तो मुझे आती है। बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। अभी थोड़ा आगे बढ़ते हैं। लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ मोर थिंग्स। सो आपने सीख लिया वर्ड, बार बार मैं इसको रेफर करूंगा। यू हैव अंडरस्टूड वर्ड्स। वर्ड्स कैसे लिखते हैं? सिंपल, ए इज इक्वल टू अजय, बी इज इक्वल टू विजय, सी इज इक्वल टू संजय, कुछ भी कह लो, राइट? अब बारी आएगी धीरे धीरे ग्रामर की। ग्रामर कैसे लिखा जाता है? हाउ ग्रामर इज रिटेन इन अ प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज। सो बेसिकली ग्रामर क्या है? इट इज अ रूल, राइट? सो रूल पाइथन में सिंटैक्स को बोलते हैं। व्हाट इज अ रूल? वी कॉल इट एज अ सिंटैक्स। अब सिंटैक्स होता क्या है? आप ये नहीं कर सकते हो ए समथिंग लाइक दिस और लेट्स से 1 इज इक्वल टू 5, आप कुछ ऐसा नहीं कह सकते हो, राइट? 1.2 इज इक्वल टू 5, समथिंग लाइक दैट। यू कैन नॉट डू दिस, आपको ये एरर दिखेगा, राइट? दिस इज सम रूल दैट हैज बीन डिफाइंड। उस तरह बहुत सारे रूल होते हैं, right? आप किसी के नाम को a इज इक्वल टू ऐसे तो लिख सकते हो, लेट्स से संजय, यू कैन डू दैट, यू कैन एक्सेस दिस लाइक दिस, राइट? बट आप किसी के नाम को ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते, समथिंग लाइक दिस, राइट? एट द रेट a is equals to Ram. You cannot do this, right? It will throw an error. So these are some rules. Again, I'm not going to dive into every rules. There are few basic variable naming rules, but yeah, this is the little bit of understanding. So अभी तक हमने क्या देखा? पहले word सीखा, फिर sentence सीखा, sorry grammar सीखा। अब हम लोग सीखने वाले हैं sentence। अब क्या है sentence? So let's try to understand this. बहुत ही easy शब्दों में sentence भी सीखते हैं। So basically sentence को हम लोग Python में statements बोलते हैं। There are multiple type of statements, right? Right. So for example, loops, right? So these are called as conditional statements. और loops इसमें दो तरह के होते हैं। पहला होता है for loop and दूसरा होता है while loop. While loop, right? These are conditional statements. So अब इसको समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। We are going to see it, in a very easy way. So let's say मैं ऐसे दिखा रहा हूं आपको कि एक कंटेनर है। कंटेनर क्या होता है? जहां पे आप कुछ सामान रखते हो, राइट? चावल दाल कुछ भी रखते हो तो एक कंटेनर होता है ना। सो लेट्स से यहाँ पे कंटेनर में, लेट्स से ये एक कंटेनर है। इस कंटेनर में आपको आपकी मम्मी ने भेजा है कुछ सामान लाने को, लेट्स से बैंगन लाने के लिए भेजा, राइट? फिर आलू भेजा, आलू मेरी फेवरेट है। सो लेट्स से आलू, मे बी लेट्स से पोटैटो, राइट? पोटैटो एंड लेट्स से सम वैल्यूज 1 2 3 कुछ भी हो सकता है। 1 रुपए इसे उधार देना, 2 रुपए उसे उधार देना, समथिंग लाइक दैट। सो नाउ लेट्स से मुझे ये एक एक करके एक्सेस करना। आई वांट टू एक्सेस दिस एवरीथिंग। हाउ कैन आई एक्सेस? लूप का मतलब क्या होता है, राइट? कभी ऐसा सुना है कि लूप में ये काम हो रहा है, राइट? हमारी जिंदगी क्या है? I am being philosophical. What is our life? राइट, डेली सुबह उठते हैं, फ्रेश होते हैं, खाना पीना खाते हैं, फिर काम पे जाते हैं, फिर वापस आते हैं, फिर सो जाते हैं, फिर अगले दिन सुबह उठते हैं. दिस इज अ लूप. राइट. राइट. सिमिलर टू दैट, यदि आपको ये जानना है कि हर एक इस एलिमेंट को एक्सेस करना, इफ यू वांट टू एक्सेस दिस एलिमेंट वन बाय वन, हाउ कैन यू डू दैट? So you have some loops. First is for loop, second is a while loop. So for example, let's see it for I, or let's say for elements in A, right? Print A, very simple, print element, right? Print element. So क्या होगा? एक एक एलिमेंट करके it will give you, right, 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 it will give you all the elements: bangan, aloo, potato, 1 2 3. So this is called as for loop. Now, another type of loop is while loop. Right? What is while loop? Right? Right. So, what is while loop? So, let's try to see this. This was about for loop. Right? I will come to the comparison of for loop and while loop. So, no need to worry about that. So, let's see while loop. What is a while loop? Right? So, for example, let's say n is equals to 7. So, there is a number n is equals to 7. Then I is equals to 1. Right? Now, I am saying while I less than n. Right? While I less than n, print I, and then the value becomes I is equals to I plus 1. Right. This is your while. Let's try to see this. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So what is while loop? Let's try to understand this. Then I will compare as well. What is the use case, when to use, right? So for example, let's say n equals to 7 and n equals to 1. So n number value is 7 and I value 1. So it says that while I is less than n. So let's try to see this here. So while I is less than n. So n is equals to 7, I is equals to 1. While I is less than n. Right? Maybe I will use a different pen. So let's say pen, just to show you guys. So, okay. So here I will just show you this with a excellent understanding. Okay, yeah. So here, so let's say you have something like this, right? So n value, n is equals to, let's say 7, I is equals to 1. So now the condition says while I is less than n, 1 is less than 7. It means this condition is true. Ye condition true. This condition is true. If this condition is true, it will go inside this particular block, and what will happen? It will print the value. So what is the value? I value is 1, so it will print 1. So that's how you see 1. After that, it goes to this value. So I is equals to I plus 1. So 1 plus 1, this becomes 2. So now this becomes 2, and it will go again inside this while loop. So again, 2 is less than 7. So again, it will print 2. That's how you will see print 2. And then again, the 2 number is incremented by 1. फिर से एक बढ़ा दिया गया है 2 में. So this becomes 3. And again, it goes on to the while loop, and it will continue until in the last, if it comes 7 less than 7. So this condition is not satisfied, then it will not go inside this particular loop. And that is how you see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 printed. Now, when to use what? Right. How to remember that? Very easy. Often I in the class I tell students, right, it's very easy to remember. So how to remember? Very easy. So this is similar to, let's say, your buffet. कभी जाते हो बाहर भोज खाने के लिए? This is like buffet. ये भी खाना है, 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 सब कुछ खाना है. So this is like a for loop is called as, is like a buffet. While loop क्या है? कोई क्रश हुई होगी कॉलेज में, राइट, या फिर तुम किसी के क्रश हो गए, राइट, बार बार तुमसे डेट पे पूछने के लिए बोला जा रहा है कि चलो डेट पे चलते हैं, लेट्स गो आउट ऑन अ कॉफी और सम डिनर, एंड यू आर सेइंग नो 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 ईच टाइम, राइट. So that's the understanding of this while loop. Just a simple analogy if you want to just remember it. Now, when to use what? Whenever you know what is the number of iterations that you have to iterate. This को कहते हैं हम लोग iterations. How many numbers you are going to access the element, then you will use for loop. Otherwise, if you don't know the number of iterations, you know only the condition, then you will going to use while loop. So that is the understanding. नाउ नेक्स्ट मूव अहेड. सो हमारे पास हमने एक स्टेटमेंट्स देखा कि अच्छा हर बार इसके पास जाना. दिस इज टाइप ऑफ अ स्टेटमेंट, राइट? राइट. सो दिस इज अ लूप, राइट? Another type of statements is like if, else, something like that. So for example, let's say if a is greater than 3, right? So what you can write? Print a is greater than 3, right? A is greater than 3. A is greater than 3. What is this? Again, this is a type of statement, right? So now you can just simply write a is equals to 3 or a equals to 5. If a is greater than 3, then a is greater than 3. This is called as conditional statements. This is called as loop statement, right? Now, for example, let's take another example. If outside, if it is raining, right? If outside raining, then what you can just write, right? If outside is equals to rainy, right? Simple. If outside is equals to rainy, print I will eat pakoda. Very easy. I will eat pakoda. Let's say, right? See you. Very easily. Again, क्या कर रहे हो आप यहाँ पे? क्या देखा था हमने? सिंपल चीजों में ये देखा था वर्ड्स, सेंटेंस, ग्रामर. देखो यहाँ पे वर्ड सीखा, सिंटेक्स सीखा, नाउ स्टेटमेंट सीख रहे हैं. ये क्या है? दिस इज अ टाइप ऑफ स्टेटमेंट, right? Right. देखो, for example, another example, beta is nalayak. So let's try to understand this, right? If beta is equals to nalayak, father says, print, I am not going to give any property, not going to give any property, going to give any property, something like that, right? Give anything, right? Now there can be multiple ways, so there are like multiple conditions as well. I'm not going to dive deep into that because our agenda is to reach to the data science, data analysis problem. So this is the understanding. Now moving ahead, so you have understand this much of basics. Now the point is, can we, right, do some real world data analysis? How it looks like? So for that, you have some libraries. कुछ कुछ libraries होते हैं, right? So we will start with some libraries. So libraries क्या होता है? ऐसे real life में क्या होता है library? Whenever you go to a library, you will see multiple books, right? Similar to this, here also in Python, you are having multiple books like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, cbon, something like that, right? Something like that. So you have multiple books. Now, using these books, you are going to learn something. Similarly, right, using these libraries, you are going to learn something from the data. Simple, right? What is a library in the real world? Library. In the library, you have books. Similarly, you have different books here. NumPy. Let's say NumPy, Pandas, right? Cbon, something like that. Right? Right. There are multiple libraries. Right. Now, inside the book, you get some knowledge. Right. Using this library, right? Using this library, you are going to also get some knowledge from the data. From the data. That's it. Right. So what is a pandas numpy cbon? Some tool that helps you to analyze the data. So let's try to start now the analysis because this is going to be fun. And believe me, we are going to also see this how to get a plot, something like this and something like this. How to solve a real world use case. So let's start. So I'll just go to the data set. So maybe I will be showing you the data set. So you guys don't need to worry about that. So I will open some data set. Here you will find there are some data sets, right? So for example, let's say we have order items. So I will just open it this Excel sheet. So order items. We have product data set. So here we have product data set. We have product category name, right? So all of these are the data sets, right? So what happens, right? What happens whenever you work in the real world? It never happens कि आपको एक एक्सेल शीट मिल गई and you are done. No, there cannot be only one source of data. It cannot be one source of data. There can be multiple sources. Now, here it is going to be fun. So let's say हमने कुछ data open किया, right? So one more data I will open. So here we have payment data set, right? So I will talk about all of this data set, and this is actually, if you just Google it out, you will find it out. This is a Brazilian e-commerce data set, very famous data set, and widely used. And this is the mimic of real world data that you can get somewhere, right? So now I will show you what is this data talking about. So यहाँ पे आप ध्यान से देखो, right? We have order id. So let's say this is one data, order list, order items. Then we have order item, product id, seller id, shopping list. So these are the values, right? So this is shopping limit date, some date, some price, some freight value. Price simply means what is the price of the product. Freight value means additional cargo cost or something like that. तो ये ऐसे समझना, एक रोज क्या है, ऑर्डर आईडी है, ऑर्डर आइटम है, प्रोडक्ट आईडी है, शिपिंग है, डेट है, प्राइस है, ऑन शिपिंग का कॉस्ट है। वेरी गुड, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। ना आप दूसरा डेटा सेट देखोगे तो उसमें ऑर्डर आईडी है, सम पेमेंट वगैरह है, राइट? पेमेंट मेथड है, राइट? पेमेंट इंस्टॉलमेंट है, पेमेंट वैल्यू है, right? So these are another data set. Now, if you see other here as well, maybe this some data set like this. So this is about product data again, with some other product ID, some product category name, something like that, right? So these are all other data set. I will be discussing one and one. Now, you guys have understood that this is an e-commerce data set. The best part is, right, most of the time while teaching, even you might have seen me as well, while teaching I will just take one data set and solve the question, right? Actually, right, this doesn't happen in the industry use cases. You will be having multiple data set, right, and you need to relate to every data set and get some insights. Now how to do that? This is going to be more fun, right? This is going to be more fun. So let's start. So what I'm going to do, so let's say I am going to actually import some libraries. First of all, I will import pandas as PD, right? PD, and then I'm going to import warnings, and then warnings dot filter warnings, right? Ignore. So first of all, what is a pandas? Pandas is a library which is used to actually analyze the data. First thing. Second thing, right? Second thing, what is warning? Warning is a module in Python that helps you to remove the deprecated warning, right? And filter warnings, name itself suggests that you have to ignore those warnings. So now, seeing the data set, I will just put one question in front of you, right? Before putting that question, I will first read the data set. So first of all, I will read the data set. So what I will do to read this data set, I have, I have to read this. So pd.read csv. So let's say read csv, and then I will copy paste all the names of the data set to make things easier. So all the names I have already written here. So here, if you see, these are the order items. This is your product. This is your category, and this is your payment. I am reading 4 data set. Now this is going to be fun. So let's try to see each of this data set one by one. So let's order items. Order items. So if you see, these are the data. Now we can discuss about each of these data types. So let's say in this order items, क्या क्या data है हमारे पास? We have some order ID. So this must be some unique value. Order item ID. What is order item ID? This is your product ID. This is your seller ID. This is shipping limit date. This is your price. This is your freight value. This is the first thing. Maybe let's move ahead with the products. So I will just put it here. So let's say products. So products. Let's say here I want to show you again products. So I want to show you maybe first 5 rows. So I will show you first 5 rows. Here it is product ID, product category name, product name length, product description, product photos quantity, product weight, product length, product height, and all of those. Right. Now there is one small data set, that is category translation. So category translation. So you can just hit. So let's say category translation. So you can just hit a tab to get the full name. So let's say category translation. So here, if you see, this is the code. So actually, this is a Brazilian data set written in Portuguese language, right? So Belezia Saúde means health, beauty, something like that. Now there is one more data set. What is the payment preference? So payment preference. So if you see, these are the payment preference. All of this data set I have saved, I have given. Now I will give you one question and let me know how many of you are able to think it. So the question is very simple, right? Very simple question. Which product categories perform best and how can sales be optimized by analyzing purchase pattern and payment method? So this is some type of problem statement that will come to you as a data scientist or a data analyst or a business analyst. No one will come and say you that अच्छा बताओ तो highest price कौन सा है? No, they will not come to you that way. कोई ऐसा नहीं बोलेगा. No one will come to you. Okay, take this one data set. Let's say this one products data set or order items data set, and can you give me insight about what is the total average price each customer ID? They will not give you questions like this, right? It is you as a data scientist who has to figure it out how to solve this. Which product categories perform best and how can sales be optimized by analyzing purchase patterns and payment methods? So guys, anyone is able to think it? I have showed you data. You have some information about the data. Think about this. How to solve this type of problem statement? Okay, very good, very good. Few of you are answering. So let's try to understand this. Right. First of all, right, our objective is to, right, find what is the order item, what is the product detail, so that you can analyze the sales by product category. So what can you do? So we will start with first merging the two data, that is your items, that is your order items, and then you have products. Right? इसको ऐसे समझो, यदि आपको जानना है कि कितना प्रोडक्ट क्या सेल हुआ है, तो व्हाट यू विल डू? You will try to understand कौन कौन से ऑर्डर आए, राइट? विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट ऑर्डर क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट खरीदा गया है. दैट्स द अंडरस्टैंडिंग. वेरी सिंपल. क्योंकि कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन आपके प्रोडक्ट्स में होंगे जो कि प्रोडक्ट का इंफॉर्मेशन होगा, कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन आपके ऑर्डर में होंगे कि वो कितना प्राइस का ऑर्डर है, ये फ्राइट वैल्यू क्या है. फ्राइट वैल्यू मींस शिपिंग चार्ज, कितनी शिपिंग चार्ज लगी, समथिंग लाइक दैट. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज हाउ विल यू क्लब दिस बोथ डेटा टुगेदर? How can you do that? Right? Very easy. In Pandas, we have a function called pd.merge. अब भी ध्यान से देखना. This is going to be fun. So pd.merge, you are going to merge it. That's not a problem. Everyone knows this, that you have to merge it. Now the question is, right, on what? What is the common column? This is the first question. And the second question, what type of merge you have to do it? On what? So product ID is there, right? Easily you can merge this on order ID, sorry, product ID. So here you have product ID, here also you have product ID. So common column between them is the product ID. इस पे आप लोग merge कर दोगे. Very good. This is understanding. Nice. On is equal to product ID. Product ID. But यहाँ पे, this is going to be extra fun. What type of merge you will do? This is the question now. What type of merge you are going to do? This is the question to everyone. Right, right, right. Many of you are answering left merge. Why, guys? Why left merge? That's the question. This is something you need to understand. This is how, if you work in the real world data, you will understand, you will get to know what type of merge you have to do. Think it. Why left merge is done? Right? Left merge simply means that if you have data here A, if you have data B, then all the columns of A and based on the common column of A and B, the right data will come. This is the understanding of left merge. But here in this case, what do you think? Is it required? That's the question. Is it required? What do you want to do? Very simple thinking. ऐसे सोचो, right? If you have ordered something, then the products, whatever has been ordered, there should be some data about it. there should be some data about it. Simple सा है, ऑर्डर किया आपने तो उसका प्रोडक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन होना चाहिए. If you have ordered something, then the product information should be there. Then it means what? Should we use left join or inner join? If you are expecting that whatever data is there in this particular data frame should also be there in the products data frame, then what should be the merge that you should do? Hey, this is something that you have to develop the thought process. सभी ने left merge बोला था, but actually here, since you are expecting that whenever order has been given, there should be some product information associated with that. That's why you can just write it here in a merge, and then let's say you can name it order product, order items products. So let's say products. So this is your first data that you got it. Right? So order items product. So here if you say order ID, order item ID, product ID, seller ID, shipping limit, everything is now in one data frame. So you have used an inner merge. Now here, I will give you some questions for homework to explore because you are here. What will happen? What will happen when the column used to merge has duplicate values? Duplicate values. Try to learn this on your own. Try to explore it. Right? I can speak about it, but what will be your takeaway? Please do something. What will happen if if the column used to merge, used to merge, used to merge, used to merge has null value? Right? Try to think, right? It's your job. Okay. So now let's move ahead. So here, if you see here in this particular data frame, you have something called product category name. But this product category name is not clear for us. It is like the spot a laser, informatica accessories, right? We don't know what is this actually. Now answer me guys, to get this information, what is all about, what you can do? We have some data frame called translation data frame. So if you guys remember, we have category translation. Now answer me guys, in category translation, what type of merge you should do so that in this particular data frame, you have also the corresponding information. What does cool stuff mean? There is some mapping. Or let's say, what does informatica accessories mean? So here informatica accessories is computer accessories. Right? This understanding, you can have it. What can you do it now? Quickly guys, everyone, you have to answer this. Batao, use your brain, develop the thought process. You have to solve the business problem, right? And who knows my teaching style must be knowing that this is not going to be easy to solve. Okay, many of you are saying inner join. Guys, now try to understand why inner join. There can be a scenario where product has been ordered, there has been product description, right? There can be some translation, but there can also be product which will be having translation but has not been ordered. हो तो सकता है ना भाई? Everyone, it is possible or not? Very simple. I will repeat it again. So let's say you have translation of A means apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog, but you have only ordered A and B. Is it possible or not? Translation can be there. Whatever information, whatever objects are there in a particular, right, store, every information can be there. But at the same time, everything cannot be ordered. Right? Then in that case, what type of merge you should do, guys? Now again, try to answer. What type of merge now you should do it? Think it. Everyone. Many of you are saying inner because I had done in the previous statement inner. Kesar is saying outer. Anyone else? Anyone else? It cannot be inner, it cannot be outer, because you are interested in this particular order item products, right? You are interested in this. Whatever items you have in this data frame, you want that translation to be added in this particular data frame. The right answer is here in this case, you have to do left merge. And this is the beauty of a real world problem. At one stage, based on your understanding, you are doing inner merge. And in the next stage, right, you are going to do a left merge, right? Right? So let's do the left merge. So I just copy paste one code to do the left merge. So it is so that it is quicker. So here, if you see now, here, if I just go ahead and show you the data set now, so it looks like something like this with all the information with the data frame and the order item products.
So let's take some questions answer as well, because many of you guys are answering the questions. Uh, asking the questions. We will talk about some questions as well. So again, then we will move ahead with that. So the idea is at the first step you had a inner merge, and then we took a left merge. Now few questions are there, guys. I will take a pause of let's say 2-3 minutes, and then we will move ahead again. So anyone has any questions to ask, please go ahead and ask questions. We will be just taking 2-3 minutes of pause. So Amandeep is asking, how can we know which merge should we use? Right. So that is something what I explained you. Right. Right. You have to see what is the thing that you have to use it. Right. In one of the scenario, you found out that you know that the order ID and product ID should be common, and that's why you used a inner merge. Right. In other scenario, you got to know that okay, here you have already the left information, then right you have to do the you know left merge. That's the understanding. So that is the understanding. Anyone has any other questions to ask? Anyone, please go ahead. Right, right. Sajil asking, can you define inner merge again? Inner merge very simply means whatever the common elements from both the data frame are there, please join that. That's it. That's the understanding. Anyone has any other questions, please go ahead and ask. Right. Okay, there's no any questions. Right. Aman says, is merge similar to join in SQL? Yes, you can just say it. But there is one question to ask. Right. What is the difference between merge and join in Python? Anyone has any idea about that? Just I'm asking this question. A very simple question. I don't know how many of you will be able to answer it. Okay, guys, let's take only 2 minutes of break. I just need to have some water, and then we can answer. We can start again. Everyone think what is the difference between merge and merge and you know join in Python? So well, let's start, restart again. Okay.
Okay, so is my screen visible, everyone? Okay, so let's start now. Let's start. Okay, so let's start again. So we are again back. So we have already seen a lot of things, right? Okay, so now we have created one data frame. Very good. So that's not a problem till here, right? We have seen some data frame out here. So very good. Right. So now we have got one data frame, right? So let's say category translation. So we already have done this particular, uh, particular thing. So order items products dot pay. So you have this particular information, right? So order item products. Now, how to get that particular information? So let's try to do that. Let's try to see that, right? So here we are going to see this particular information. So here we have order product items. So here are all of the informations are available, right? Now, just a second, I went in the merge, so I have to restart everything. So here I have to do one more merge that I haven't done it, that I had showed you the code. So let's see here, we have this particular thing. I have to just again rerun it mostly. So here I have rerun it. Now, fine. This is your order item products. Now what I have done, one more thing, unnecessary column, I have just dropped it. So I have dropped the unnecessary column. So guys, whenever you get some data, ideally you should start with, right? What happens whenever you get a data? The best way to start, analyzing data is first doing univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and then multivariate analysis. So what are these analysis? So I will talk about that in detail, right? So first of all, as of now, let's see this univariate, bivariate, and multivariate, and then we will be also seeing in the plot. So let's start, right? So here is my notepad visible, everyone? Okay, just a second, maybe I have to reshare my screen. Stop resharing. Mhm. Right. And again, I will reshare it. So I will just reshare it. So here, I will reshare it. So now, is my screen visible now? Mhm. Notepad is, I guess, not visible. Just a second. Share the screen. So now it should be visible, right? So now is my screen visible? Very good. Is it visible now? Right. So whenever you have some data, right? Whenever you have some data, then what happens, right? So let's try to understand this. So let's say you have some data, right? So there is some industry rules that you have to follow to do some sort of uh, analysis or something like that, right? So let's start. Let's say just a second. I just change the camera. That is it. So now there is some data. So what you can do, you have multiple things. First, whenever you get some data, you start knowing the basic things. First, what is the basic thing? What is metadata? Metadata, right? The information about the data. Then you can also start getting to know about what are the data type. It is integer, it is float, something like that. And then again, you start analyzing the data, something like this, analysis of data. Right? There are more things to this. but here in short, I am covering few things. So what you do in the analysis of the data? In analysis of data, you have, right, to do things, you have three ways. First, univariate. Univariate means one variable at a time. Bivariate, it means two variable at a time. And then you have multivariate, it means multiple variable at a time. Now here, right, right. So since we are going to do some univariate analysis, some by weight analysis, but how to do that? Right. So here comes the use cases of libraries that will help you to do few things. Now let's try to understand how to do some univariate analysis. So for that, to make really cool plot, I have done few things. So in industry, so generally what happens whenever you want to make some plot, what do you do? Simply take a column, right? Let's say there is a column, and what you will do? So for example, let's say this is your order items head. So let's say order item product is there, order item product is there, and then what you will do? You take a column. So let's say any column, whatever you want to take. So let's say here we have price, and you make some histogram or something like that. Not a problem. That's the good way. But in industry, there are some other things as well, right? Right. So let's try to understand some more details about it. So first of all, I will just import the required libraries, right? So what I have done, I have imported few of the required libraries like Pandas as PD, Plotly Express as PX, Seaborn, and Matplotlib. So these all are the libraries. So let's try to understand this. So for example, we have a column called product category, right? Category. Try to understand each of this data. What is this data? This is a sales data, right? This is a sales data. Now, sales data is actually defined by different product category. This type of one category, this is of second category, this is a third category. So whenever you do analysis, ideally you should start doing in terms of product category. Now you must be thinking, sir, why not? I can take only one column. Ajay, cannot I take one column? Yes, you can do that. But I just want to make sure you understand how it happens whenever you are going to solve some real world problem statement. So here I am going to make one column that is class. So I will make one column that is class, which gives me different product category. Fine, that's the understanding. I have that one. Now I am going to also use one more column. What is that one more column? So one more column is product weight. So let's say product weight. So product weight, right? Product weight. So there we have product weight G, right? Something like this. So here also some weightage has been given to the product. Very good. Now I am also going to make some different beans, some beans of this product based on some values, right? So what I will do, I will cut this data into different beans. Now how can I do that? Very simple. I have done the beans of two popular columns here. So those are here order item products, right, of product weight G and the fried value. It means what is the product weight category and what is the shipping charge, different beans based on these values. Now this is going to be fun. Now let's say you want to make a plot. First of all, why I have done? Because I have to analyze this whole data based on some groups. How I have decided the group? This depends on you, on your business problem, whatever, however you want to tackle it. I thought that why not analyze the data depending on different product category, and that's why I came to conclusion that divide the data into different product category, also divide the data into different product weight and the shipping charge. You can also do based on the price, doesn't matter. Now for analyzing the data, you have different charts. One of the chart is a violin plot, another is KDE plot, another one is scatter plot. So what is a violin plot? So violin plot is again a plot used to actually see the distribution of the data and also know the outlier, right? Second one, let's say KDE plot. Understood? You get to know about the KDE plot to understand the distribution of the data. आपको distribution पता चलती है. And then scatter plot to understand the relationship between two variables. So this is the understanding. Now let's try to see this using this particular plot. And now you are going to see very cool plot. Obviously, I will discuss the code as well. We have some time limit, so I cannot type each of the things. So I'm just here, I have copy pasted it. I will discuss the code, everything. So here, just a second, I'm not copying one more thing. So here I will just have different functions. So I have written a function so that you can use everything in one go, or everything in for multiple columns as well. So here I will discuss everything. It is just running. Just a second. Okay, very good. So you have one plot, that is volume plot. So what I have done, either you can make one column at a time and just see the volume plot, but to generalize things, I have made functions. So while working in the industry, you are not going to use one line of code and just make a volume plot. What you can do, you can make a generic function so that the plots are visible, the plots you can see. So here I have used a library called Plotly. Plotly, in the Plotly you can make plots using two modules. First graph object and another one is Plotly Express. So using Plotly Express, I have made a Boolean plot. KDE plot means the distribution of the data. So here to understand the distribution, we have made a KDE plot and scatter plot to understand the relationship. And I have called with respect to each of this column. Now, if you see here, this is a very cool, variant plot. And the best part is here you can have the interactiveness. Now, what is the understanding? Overall, I cannot explain everything here in detail, but the understanding is here that few of the data points are outliers here. You can see that few of the data points are outliers here, and you can interact with the plot to see all of those things. So this is a beautiful KDE plot where you can see in the different distribution in different beans how the data is varying. What is the insight out of it? Right, making plot is very easy. The first insight out of this here is that there are some outliers. Second insight from this plot is that the all of this particular bean data almost follows the same distribution. This is so interesting. Right? And moving ahead, if you see here, this is again a KDE plot with the price fight column. And again, if you see almost this is the distribution between different beans. And here is the most important scatter plot. What is the meaning of this? What is the insights out of this? So as the price of the product is increasing, then the cargo price is also increasing, right? And if you can just see it, any of the thing. So here, let's say this value, this is class is art. It means art is the category. Price is $6,499 US, and shipping charges is $227. This is interesting. So this is how in the industry, if you want to analyze the data, you don't need to just call each of these particular functions px.violin one by one for each of the column. Just make a generic function and start doing that. Now again, coming back to the question. What was our question? Question was very simple, that which product categories performs the best? How to find that? So let's say we have order items. Already we have the data frame. So let's say order items, right? Order items product. So this is your data frame. Very good. Now, which product category performs the best? So let's say you have some product category here. So we have already the product category. Now, which product category performs the best? How can you find out that? How can you do that? Anyone? Performs the best in comparison of what? Price. It's a price, which is the highest sold product category. How can you do that? Price is nothing but the revenue in a rough number, right? Just think it, right? No one is going to say you that do group by, do the sum price. You have to figure it out on your own, right? So here in this case, very simple. Just do dot group by. Group by. What is group by? Right, if I have to explain you group by, very simple. I have an image, I can just show you group by, right? Image is, right, what does group by do? So very easy example, so you can understand this. So this is your data, right? Now we have different group categories similar to what we have product categories, right? So A, B, C, A, C, something like that. So product A, product B, product C, something like that. And the values, corresponding values, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the same. So what will happen? Whenever you do group by, it will split the values and then sum all the prices for each of the category. Right? So let's do it. So here, in this way, here you can just write product category. So let's say product category. So product category. Okay, this is the whole name. So product category. So here group by product category, and then what you can do, you can have the price. So price, and here in this price dot sum. So here I will just sum and then maybe reset index. Reset index means just give me a fresh data. So now if you see here, this is your product category and this is your price. Very simple. Now you can just store this information in a variable to check it more in detail. So I will just store this in a variable like this. So category sales, now you can have category sales, something like this, and now product category with the total revenue. You can even sort this value. How to sort this value? If you guys know category sales dot sort values, just do sort values and you can even sort it. How you want to sort it by total revenue. So total revenue. So total revenue, revenue, and then ascending equals to false. Ascending equals to false. So if you see, the highest one will be on the top. This is the total revenue. Now, this you have understood that this particular category is giving you the highest revenue. Interesting, right? So one question you have already answered, right? What was the question? If you remember, the question was very simple. Okay, where is the question? Right. So which product category performed the best? You have understood this. Now, how can sales be optimized by analyzing purchase pattern and payment method? So we'll come to that again. But here, the understanding is this is the particular product health beauty that should be given more priority. Now we are going to see about the product details with the product payment method. How can you do that? So let's say you have a data set, payments. So you have this data set, payments. Then you have also some order items. So this is your payments. Now with respect to each of these payments, right, you have the order items. Now how to get that? This is your payments. Now we have order items. So order items, now you will be having this order item. Now how to get the corresponding values? That's the interesting question. Again, right? Again, this is going to be fun, right? This time, I want everyone to actually answer it correctly. So here you see in payments, you have order ID, and here in this you have also order ID. You want both of this data frame information together. What type of merge you should do, guys? What type of merge you should do, everyone? What type of merge you should do? This is the question now, right? Everyone. See, very simple analogy. If someone has ordered something, then only the payment will be done, and then only successfully that will be recorded. So it simply means that you want to have again a inner merge. So here, first time I am going to merge with the order items, right? And then again with the product. So order items with payment and the order payments with the product. So this is again we are going to do a inner. And then again you have a product translation that you had already seen earlier, but this time the product translation will again be a left join as discussed earlier, left merge as discussed right earlier. Now this will be the understanding. Now this is your order payment, right? Similar to what we had done earlier. So this is your order payment. Very good. So now in this order payment, you want to know the product type and product category, right? Product category and the payment type. So how to do that? How to do that? Very easy. Now this time you are going to do a group by with two columns, that is payment category and the payment type. So here if you see, this is your payment type, that is boleto, credit card, right? Boleto means voucher. That's it. Credit card, debit card, voucher. Boleto is a type of coupon voucher, something like that. And this is your order count. So here in this case, you did two group by on two columns to understand the product category and the payment type and what are the count. Right. Now you can also sort this value if you want. So let's say you want to sort this value by order count. So let's say if you just sort it, the highest one is 8,959, and that has been done for the bed bath table. Now what is the insight from both the results? First, you should target this product category because most of them are having the transaction order count through credit card, and most of the salaried people uses credit card, something like that. So if someone is using credit card, to those customers you can always show this particular recommendation. You can just type it right. If customers are using credit card, customers are using credit card, then you can use credit card, then use some like this, some whatever credit card are there, let's say computer accessories, furniture, something like that. So highest one is bed bath, so I will just write bed bath here. You can write more. Vice versa is also true. If person is buying bed bath table, is buying bed bath table, buying bed bath table, so bed bath table, show them credit card offers, show them credit card offers, because they are more likely to buy through credit card. This is the way you interpret the results. Right? Right. This is the way you interpret the results. Again, first insight, if someone is buying bed bath table, please recommend the credit card offers. It will increase the sale. The customers who have already logged in with the app using credit card, then most probably show these items. This is the understanding. Very good. Now, moving ahead. Now you have understood this. But how to present this result to a business, because you are talking about the real world scenario. So actually you cannot present this result in this form of data frame. So in order to present the result, you can make some very, very cool plot. So I am going to make a very cool plot here. So first plot here, I am going to show you a bar chart, and the second plot is a stacked bar chart. So here if you see, this is the health beauty having the highest sale. Total revenue is around 1.25 million USD, and the product category is health beauty. And if you just go ahead down by category, here it is called as a stacked bar chart. You can see the different segments. So payment type is Boleto, product category is bed bath table, and the order count is 1875. Similar to this, here you can have credit card, bed bath table 8959. So with different categories, bed bath table, sports leisure, what are different proportion of payment type. So this one plot actually says you a lot of things. Right? Says you a lot of things. So basically, this is the way you answered the question. What is the answer? That yours should be given. The bed bath table category should be given, or health beauty segment should be given more priority. Now there can be multiple questions to solve it. I had prepared a lot of questions to actually solve it, but we have limited time. So what I am going to do, I can just have one more question about revenue by category, and then I will go ahead with the optimization technique. So you might have studied with the pandas, but what are the optimization technique in pandas? I will also talk about those things. So let's say here, in this case, I will be having one more question for you guys. So for example, here the question is, determine the revenue contribution for each of the category to the total, right? So above same problem statement with the pie chart. So you can make a one interactive pie chart as well, and how beautiful it looks like. So this is a pie chart. It is not that you cannot make it more bigger. It is just that the data here you can see it clearly. And here if you see, the highest contribution is health beauty, watches gift, and weight bath table. The same thing you can do using the pie chart. This is the understanding. Now, guys, this was about everything about whatever we have. We started with a problem statement, how to get insight on the real world data. We performed some specific methods and reached to some insights. So that was the understanding. So there were like a lot of problem statements that I had thought. One of the problem statement was that how to see the order timing, the shipping timing, right? So I can just show you the shipping timing as well, how it is varying with year. So here, if you see, this is the shipping timing and all of those things. So what I will do, I will just recreate this notebook and I will share with you guys on the website again. At the same website, careercraftpro.com, you will find the document with the master class and you can just put it. Now moving to the next section, right? The next section is actually what are different optimization technique in Pandas, right? So you might have learned about the Pandas. Very good. So Pandas is very good. You can, you know about a lot of things about the Pandas, but what are the optimization technique? How to optimize the Pandas code? Then after that, I will move to how to make a plot, a map on the Jupyter notebook. I will talk about that as well. So slowly, let's start discussing about how to optimize things whenever you are working with Pandas. So for that, what I have done, right? I have made a comparison, right? What type of comparison? I will just show you, right? Right. So for example, what I have done, right? So for example, here, how to read a data set, how to actually do the things, what are the different optimization technique. I will talk about those things. So for example, you might be reading the data set in Pandas. So what is the general understanding? What I did a few seconds before, just pd.read csv and read the whole data set. But there is a problem, guys. Right. So whenever you read the complete data set, actually this is loaded into the memory, your cache, right? And that's the whole problem. It may take a lot of time as well. So there is some parameters like use column, and also you can define the data type. Have you ever thought why somewhere float 32 is there, float 64 is there, right? Something like that. So if you define, right, data type and use only specific column, then the runtime and the memory taken will be lower as compared to loading the complete data. First thing, right? Second thing, right, whenever you merge and do something, so if you see here in my classes, in my lecture, whatever I have told you till now, I was doing these steps separately. Merge, one merge, again second merge. I had done three separate steps. But optimization says whenever you want to do it, if you do this way, you have serial operations together, right? It will take lesser amount of time. That's what I have showed you. Right. See here, the same code I have showed you. I will just show you again. So in this code, I have been doing things right in multiple steps. First step, second step, third step, and fourth step. But actually, this can be done together, and it looks better, far better. And this is also a very optimized way. So these are few optimization things you should always keep in your mind. So now, if you just do this, so I will just import time. So here I will just import time, import time. You can just play with it later, the later stage, but it will take a lesser amount of time as compared to individually running each line of the code. Also, many of times you will be filtering the things, right? But to avoid filtering things, the better way, the more optimized way to use the vectorized operation. What you can do that? For that, what you can do? You can use query operation and the vectorized operation, something like that, right? Something like this, right? So you can just use order product items dot query price is greater than 20. So this is also a way you can do and get the results in a very quicker way. Right? Obviously, I'm not comparing everything as of now because we have lesser amount of time, but this is the understanding. Right. There are some other methods as well. I will talk about that. So, for example, whenever you are working with multiple things, always try to use function. Let's say data is two rows, millions of rows. Always try to use the chunk of the data while reading the data. Right. Those type of optimization technique will always help you to reduce the runtime and also take the less memory. Further, the last thing that I had promised you, how to make a cool 3D plot, and the most important thing, how can we actually show the map in your particular Jupyter notebook. So that would be the last thing, right? And then again, I will talk about the Q&A session. We'll discuss the question answer. So for example, I am going to make an interactive plot, right? So let's try to see this. So this is going to be fun again. If you want to discuss, I can discuss the code. So here px.scatter, it means plotly express. I am passing the data frame, x is equals to price, y is equals to flight value, something like that, right? Now, here you are going to make a 3D plot, and this 3D plot actually will give you more better way to understand the data frame, right? So just a second guys, here I will just show you, right? So here I have this data frame, right? Now I can show you here in this data frame. So let's say here we have this particular data, and now if you see this is a 3D plot. Now if you just rotate it down, you will get a cool plot to understand different product categories. Now here, what you can do, you can just go to another value, zoom out, zoom in, and try to see what are the values. So here, small appliances, prices, 4,000 USD, freight value, the cargo fee is this, and the product weight is this, something like that. So this is the understanding how to make a 3D chart. The code is very simple, right? Obviously, for the beginner, it is going to be a little bit of tough. But here, if you see ps.scatter 3D, and you can just simplify. I had shown you one more plot that was making a map plot on your Jupyter notebook. So here some locations are there, and I have used a library module called Folium. So Folium help us to do so. So here, if you see here, I have used this Folium, and beautifully you can just see the map. And actually, I had shown you the So here, this is the Bangalore map. Here I am staying, and that's how I just wanted to show you. So for basically I am here staying here, so you can see those plots here that okay how it is working on, right? What is the needed here? So you just need to pass all the latitude and longitude out of this. So actually I was trying to do for the data set, so I have written the code for the data set also. So this is a data set, geolocation data set. You can check all the you know uh, map or the all the map coordinates using this code. You can just need to uncomment, it might take some time, but this is the way you can just have the Google Maps used on your Jupyter notebook as well. So this is all about from my side. So we will start something like two things. First, what would be, how do you be putting this particular things, whatever you have done in your resume, right? So for example, if you are analyzing the data, how to put that in your resume, first thing. Second thing, right, we are going to have a Q&A session, whatever you want to have, whatever you want to know about, whatever doubts you have, please go ahead and ask all the questions if you have. Now, first coming to the resume part, let's say you have analyzed the data, or let's say for that matter, if you have built a machine learning model, let's say ML model, or let's say you have done ED, right? Now, so here you got the product category which was highly sold, or the highest revenue was, let's say, health beauty, right? So how to put this in your resume, right? Many of the time I have seen many freshers, many experienced people, right, doing this rookie mistake. What they will do? They will put things like this, right? Okay, so product category is health beauty. So analyze the data, analyze the data, analyze the data, right? And found out, found out health beauty is the highest product category. Guys, this is not the way, right? Whenever you do something like this, the hiring manager or something like that, and or even for that matter, HR also thinks that okay, there is no any data. So whatever points you put, it should be data backed, right? So what you can do it, right? How can you do this, right? So the putting the same thing, right? You can just put right something like that, right? Increased, increased the health beauty product section by focusing focusing more on it, by focusing by focusing by data by focusing by just a second guys, sometimes it happens. by, let's say, focusing on data backed analytics. That's it. That's it. Right. So increase the revenue. Revenue. If you can give some number, increase the revenue by 2%, 3%. If your insight is actually improving the business, right? Then you can just put like this. Analyze the data. Sorry, increase the revenue, right, by 2%, right, of health beauty category using analytics. That's it. Very simple. Right. You don't have to do here some rocket science. Right. This is the way you put, even if you are doing machine learning prediction, right? You can just write something like this. Impacted 20 million of sales using forecasting engine. Forecasting engine. So whenever you talk using the data, it looks more impressive. So that would be some, a little bit tips and tricks. If you want to put this EDA also on your resume, this is the way you can put it. Obviously, I have shown you the path. Now it's on you how you can move ahead. Now it would be like a Q&A session. Whatever questions you guys have, please go ahead and ask the questions. Right? I would love to answer you, everyone. So please guys go ahead and ask if you guys have any questions, right, related to today's class, related to some content, right. Already I have, I don't know, using various platforms, already I have mentioned that all of this type of problem statements actually we are going to solve in our advanced certification program. Here you can just go ahead and see the syllabus as well. So we will be, having a lot of problem statements, such type of problem statements, right, in our this certification program. You can just guys go ahead and enroll that, and this particular program will be, this cost actually, as of now the cost is 4,999, but since you guys have appeared for this master class, then you can use the promo code STURS 1500. So STURS 1500 will give you extra 1500 discount, right? And this is for just for limited time period. After 20th October, this particular promo code will also be over, and you have to buy this at this price only. So if anyone interested, please go ahead and just buy this product. And if you have any, questions related to the course or anything else, please go ahead and ask. Even in fact related to content, please go ahead and ask. Aditya is asking, hello sir, myself Aditya, it is worth to take your data science course. It depends on you, Aditya, if you are able to study hard. So my only requirement for the course is you have to work hard. You have to work hard in the terms of, whatever I teach, you have to actually practice that, right? I have kept the course fee so low because I can reach to the needy students. I don't want the people, many of the students I have seen, just they, have this particular, many of the learning ethic, just they do that, have the money in EMI, in terms of EMI, and then the students are not given all the promised facilities or all the promised benefits from the edtechs, right? But I have thought it to keep it very low price so that everyone can buy it and they don't regret it. To answer your question in a very short and simple way, so you should buy the data science course or not? The answer is yes, if you are willing to break into data science industry. And the most important thing, if you really want to solve some real world industry use cases like this, then you should definitely buy it. Anyone else has any other questions, please go ahead and ask. Tanmay says, sir, please suggest 3 to 5 projects, Python core or SQL Power BI that I should make or work on to showcase in my resume for data science internship at this position. Okay, Tanmay, I will just maybe post on my blog maybe. So or someday, again I will, if I arrange another master class, then I will talk about the different projects, right? Mostly you should always, go ahead and figure it out from, for SQL you can just go ahead SQLite, just go ahead and Google it out. Most of the time you can also see Kaggle for those things. Real world data set, it is hard to get, but there is one repository, UCI repository, that you can just go ahead and check out the data which are the real world data, and it is also the open source. You can just, work on that, right? Many of the data set, right? Session was good. Where to get data set from? So this UCI repository I told you, right? Right. Right. Anyone has any other questions? Please go ahead. Okay. Uh, Sajil says, will you share that code of that map somewhere? Yes, I will share the code. Don't worry about that. It will be available on the website soon. Where should the class conducted for the data science and the classes regularly or on Sunday, Saturday? Class will be on Saturday and Sunday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if you just go ahead and here, it's not 9 p.m. I have put the thing, but actually the class will be extending beyond that 9 p.m. as well. But if you see here 6 to 8 months, okay, I guess I have put it somewhere. This is already available. Enroll for the course. Okay, here it is. 6 to 9 p.m. IST every Saturday and Sunday. Guys, someone is asking where will be the notebook. I will put the notebook here itself in the same interface. You can download the notebooks and see all that. So in fact, even I will put this as well. I will put the data set as well. So no need to worry about that. Right. Right. Should we also use practice by merging two, three data set like you did? Keshav, this was just a demo, just to demo. There are a lot of things in industry use cases, right? Edtechs outside there just take a dummy data and do anything simple and just show you guys, right? And this was just one way to, you know, show you guys, okay, this is one of the possibilities that you should guys be knowing, right? But there are n number of things, right? I cannot cover everything in just one master class, right? Right. But yes, you should try. You should try to do anything, right, to learn it. Tushar says that I have a suggestion. Please provide the data before live lecture. Tushar, it is not possible for two reasons. Because the first thing, this is a master class. Here you cannot type it parallelly. It is going to be tough because sometimes I will be copying, pasting the code. If you have studied from me, then in the live classes I generally don't copy paste. I type the code, right? But here in the master class, I have to arrange this way that the duration is lower because after 1.5 an hour, many of the students feels bored, and the target was to end it in 1.5 an hour, and that I did like in 1.5 an hour. Right, that's the point. Amandeep says, thank you, but how should we learn? Enroll for the course. What is the Folium application in real world scenarios? Good question, Keshav. So there is a lot of real world scenarios, right? So let's say if you want to present something, right, in terms of coordinates. So if you see here, whatever I had shown you in terms of data set, this data set was particularly, actually this location is about a data set. So I don't know, I will just show you that this data set is there. Downloads. So here we have data set. So here if you see, we have geolocation data set. So actually this was not a dummy data set. I showed you, but this was a real data set where from where, what is the location, latitude and longitude from where the order has been made. So what happens if you want to just put this way the data, then it doesn't look so much good, right? But if you put it in a map, right, people are anyway impressed. Oh, right, this is the way. First thing. Second thing, it is very easy to actually see things on the map using visualization, right? You can zoom out, zoom in, see all the values, right? You can have insights. Okay, this area the orders are more. Here I have taken only 4 5 coordinates, but you can do n number of coordinates, right? Right. So this is actually very useful in pertaining in giving the insights, right, to any business team. Tushar says, did we get the recording of the webinar? Yes, you will be getting the webinar recording as well. Anyone has any other questions? One more announcement is there, guys. So we are going to have one more master class on Sunday. I will be again hosting it, and that's going to be more fun because we are going to see statistical analysis of a machine learning model. You have seen dot fit dot predict method. Everyone has used it, but anyone has thought that what is the statistics behind that? How to interpret the statistics? So we are going to see that on another master class on Sunday. So that is again going to be more fun. Sir, where we will get the geolocation of all the respective cities. So you can just go ahead and Google it out on your Google map, or just Google it out. What is the location. So for my latitude, I just saw on the map that okay, this is my latitude and longitude, and just I put it here. And how you can make plot? You can make a plot using Fourier. Anyone has any other questions to ask? Okay. Okay, so I guess that would be all for this masterclass. I would request you guys just go ahead and visit this advanced certification course brochure. If you have any questions, please do ask me. Right, right, right. Okay, so that would be all for If you have any questions, you can ping me directly on the email ID as well. So email ID is support@careercraftpro.com, or you can also uh, simply ping me if you have my contact number, or you can just ping me on LinkedIn as well. So you can ping me on LinkedIn about okay. You can ping me on LinkedIn as well. If you have any questions, if you have any queries. So this is my LinkedIn profile. So you can just go ahead. So yeah, to solve such more industry problem, please visit our website and join our course if you feel like. So that would be all for today's lecture. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. And let's meet in the next master class that is going to happen on Sunday. Thank you. Thank you for all everyone for joining.